Leading a team in healthcare, especially when you're not at the top,
Oh, absolutely.
can be, well, it's incredibly tough.
Yeah.
You're juggling patient care and staff needs
Mm.
and those organizational demands, all while trying to create a positive work environment.
Yeah, for sure.
So today we're diving into a framework called the Leader's Compass. It's designed to help those of you in this exact situation.
It really focuses on nurses in leadership
Okay.
who may not be in the C-suite,
Right.
but they're tasked with driving change on the front lines.
Yeah.
They're often caught between the demands of upper management
Oh, for sure.
and the needs of their team.
It sounds like a real balancing act.
It is.
And I remember from our dive into the Pathway to Excellence framework that creating a healthy work environment is a big part of that, right?
Absolutely.
Mhm.
The Leader's Compass kind of takes those POE principles a step further
Okay.
and says, okay, we know a healthy environment is important,
Yeah.
but how do we equip the leaders themselves to make that happen?
Yeah, you can't pour from an empty cup, as they say.
Exactly.
So where does this Leader's Compass begin?
Well, it starts by acknowledging a problem.
Yeah.
Nurse leaders are often expected to implement these positive changes,
Hmm.
but they're not always given the tools or the support to do it effectively.
Right.
So that leads to a lot of frustration,
Oh, I bet.
feeling unheard, and eventually burnout.
It's like asking someone to bake a cake but not giving them any of the ingredients.
Exactly.
So how does the Leader's Compass fix this?
The first 2 points, and the ones we'll focus on today,
Okay.
are empowerment and support.
Mm.
They're really crucial for building a healthier leadership, experience.
So empowerment, I'm guessing that's not just about letting leaders do whatever they want.
No, it's more nuanced than that.
Okay.
It's about autonomy in decision making
Okay.
and having access to leadership training.
So giving leaders the freedom to make choices,
Yes,
but also making sure they have the skills to make the right choices.
precisely. Think about it this way.
Yeah.
If a nurse leader sees a problem,
Mm-hmm.
let's say staffing shortages
Oh, yeah.
that are leading to rushed care,
Yeah, I've heard of that one.
but they don't have the authority to, say, adjust schedules
Mm-hmm.
or advocate for more resources,
Yeah.
well, they're going to feel powerless.
And that feeling of powerlessness quickly turns into frustration
Oh, for sure.
and burnout,
It does.
especially when it happens over and over.
Precisely. But when leaders have some degree of autonomy,
Uh-huh.
they can be more proactive,
Makes sense.
adjust workflows, make decisions that benefit their team, and just create a more positive and efficient environment.
But autonomy without the right skills
Yes,
can backfire.
absolutely. And that's where leadership training comes in.
Okay.
We're talking about things like assertiveness,
Mm-hmm.
conflict resolution, communication, clear communication.
Yeah.
These are essential, especially in those high-stress settings.
So thinking about burnout, which is a huge issue for nurses,
Right.
how do those leadership skills help in real life?
Let's say a nurse leader needs to advocate for more resources.
Okay.
If they haven't developed those assertiveness skills
Right.
or those communication skills,
Hmm.
they might struggle to make their case,
Yeah.
which leads to feeling defeated,
Okay.
frustrated. But if they have the training,
Yeah.
they can present their needs, back it up with data,
Uh-huh.
and build a stronger case.
So they're not just passively accepting the situation.
No.
They're able to actually create change.
Exactly. And that feeling is a powerful antidote to burnout
Interesting.
because it allows leaders to feel like they have some control,
Yeah.
which is critical for well-being,
Yeah.
especially in a field like healthcare.
Absolutely. So to get practical,
Okay.
what are some specific steps that nurse leaders can take to actually build their autonomy and those essential skills?
Well, the Leader's Compass suggests 3 actions. First, identify areas in your current role where you can make decisions independently.
Okay.
They might be small at first, like delegating tasks,
Right.
or adjusting a schedule to better meet your team's needs.
So it's about taking ownership,
Yeah.
even within the existing boundaries.
Exactly.
Okay.
The second step is being proactive about finding leadership training.
Got it.
There are lots of resources,
Yeah.
online, in person,
Right.
covering all sorts of topics, conflict resolution to communication.
Yeah, and I bet a lot of people listening are thinking, yeah, that sounds great, but where do I find the time?
It's a challenge.
For sure.
But even a small amount of time each week, like learning a new skill or reading,
Yeah.
can make a difference. The key is to prioritize it.
Yeah.
And the third step is to have a conversation
Okay.
with your supervisor, manager,
Mhm.
to clarify those decision-making boundaries.
It's about setting clear expectations
Yeah.
and understanding where you have that freedom.
Yeah.
Okay.
When everyone's on the same page about what decision can be made,
Right.
it creates trust and it empowers leaders to act confidently.
Yeah, without second guessing.
Exactly.
So we've talked about giving leaders more autonomy, providing them with those skills
Hmm.
to lead effectively. What's the overall impact of this? Does it actually make a difference?
The research suggests some pretty impressive outcomes.
Okay.
When leaders feel empowered, they
Mhm.
tend to make more confident decisions,
Makes sense.
which leads to better outcomes for their team and for patient care.
It's that ripple effect.
Yes.
That positive change at the leadership level spreads.
Exactly. And then there's another benefit, increased team stability.
Okay.
When leaders feel empowered,
Hmm.
they're less likely to burn out,
Right.
more likely to stay in their role,
Which makes sense.
which creates a more consistent and supportive environment.
It's hard to build a strong team when the leader is always changing.
Exactly. And of course, there's the impact on the leader's own well-being.
Yeah, of course.
Feeling empowered can reduce stress and burnout,
Absolutely.
so they can bring their best selves to work.
Empowerment sounds great in theory,
Yeah.
but, we have to be realistic.
Right.
Leaders still need support from their organization.
Absolutely.
Providing autonomy and training isn't a magic solution.
No.
What happens when those empowered leaders run into roadblocks or challenges, those things that require more than just individual skills?
That's a great point, and that leads us right into the second point, support.
Okay.
Empowerment is most effective when it's paired with that solid foundation.
Basic.
It's like you're giving someone a car, but no fuel or a map.
Right.
And you can start the engine, but they won't get far.
That's a good analogy.
And that's why support is not just about resources.
Okay.
It's about building a culture where leaders feel,
Yeah.
guided and mentored and valued.
It's about creating an environment where leaders can thrive, not
Right.
just survive.
Exactly.
So how do we build that kind of supportive culture?
Well, the Leader's Compass highlights two key aspects:
Okay.
mentorship programs
Okay.
and resource allocation.
I'm intrigued by this idea of mentorship. How can it help nurse leaders navigate those challenges we were talking about?
Imagine you're a new nurse leader.
Okay.
You're excited,
Yeah.
but overwhelmed.
Right.
And suddenly you have this experienced mentor,
Okay.
someone who's been there, done that,
Uh-huh.
who can offer guidance and help you avoid those common pitfalls.
It's like having a guide on your leadership journey.
Exactly. And it's not just about advice.
Yeah.
It's about having someone to talk to,
Yeah.
someone who gets it.
That emotional support
Yes.
can be just as valuable as the practical advice.
Absolutely.
But what about when the challenge isn't advice, but a lack of resources?
Mm-hmm. That's where resource allocation comes in.
And I'm guessing it goes beyond just money.
It does.
So what else does it include?
Things like adequate staffing,
Okay.
access to technology and equipment,
Yep.
professional development opportunities.
Right.
All of those things affect a leader's ability to do their job.
Yeah, I can imagine how frustrating it would be
Mm-hmm.
to try and implement best practices, but you just don't have the resources.
Exactly. And that's where those leadership skills,
Right, the ones we were talking about before.
exactly, they can advocate for their team.
So it all comes full circle.
It does.
Empowerment leads to better resources,
Correct.
which then allows the leader to better support their team.
It's all connected.
Is there anything else?
There's another aspect that's often overlooked:
Okay, I'm listening.
peer support networks.
Okay.
Creating spaces for nurse leaders to connect,
Oh, interesting.
share experiences,
Yeah.
offer support.
It's so easy to feel isolated as a leader.
It is, especially in healthcare.
Especially in healthcare.
Having that network can make such a difference.
It creates a sense of community,
Yeah.
which can really combat burnout.
Okay, so we've talked about mentorship, resources, and peer support.
What's the overall impact of support?
Well, the research shows some pretty remarkable outcomes.
Like what?
Increased resilience, for one.
Okay.
Nurse leaders face so many challenges.
They do.
Having that support system helps them bounce back.
Right. Maintain that positive outlook,
Exactly, and avoid burnout.
which is so important in healthcare.
It is, and it leads to enhanced team stability.
Okay.
When leaders feel supported, they create a better environment.
Makes sense.
Lower turnover rates,
Mm-hmm.
better communication, stronger sense of purpose.
It creates a healthier and more sustainable model for leadership,
Yes.
one where they aren't burning out and leaving.
Exactly. It's about everyone thriving, the leaders, the team,
Yeah.
and ultimately the patients.
This has been so insightful. We've
Well.
talked about those challenges, the importance of empowerment and support, and some practical ways to implement these ideas.
And remember, you don't have to do everything at once.
Right.
Start small.
Okay.
Find a mentor.
Hmm.
Advocate for a specific resource,
Yeah.
or just reach out to a colleague.
Sometimes just having that connection can be so validating.
Absolutely.
I'm feeling inspired to rethink, my approach to leadership after this.
That's great.
But I know we've only scratched the surface.
We've only explored 2 points on the compass so far. 6 more.
Okay, so tell me more about these.
Well, next we have communication,
Okay.
which might seem obvious,
Yeah.
but often gets overlooked in a busy environment like healthcare.
I can see how clear communication is so important for, for empowering your team and creating that supportive culture.
Exactly. It builds trust,
Yeah.
make sure everyone's on the same page,
Right.
having those regular check-ins,
Yeah.
getting feedback, creating that safe space.
It sounds like communication is the glue that holds it all together.
It really is.
Uh-huh.
And then we have work culture,
Oh.
which goes hand in hand with communication. This is about creating that environment where people feel
Mm.
valued and respected,
Yeah.
motivated to do their best.
This reminds me of the pathway to excellence stuff.
It does.
It's about creating a healthy environment, but from the leader's side.
Exactly. And the leader's compass
Yeah.
provides the strategies to do just that.
Okay.
It's about celebrating successes, addressing issues, building that camaraderie.
It's leading by example.
Precisely.
Creating the environment you'd want to work in.
And then there's wellness initiatives.
Okay.
This one's so crucial in healthcare.
Yeah, I bet.
It goes beyond just,
Yeah.
yoga classes or vacation time.
Right. So what are some key elements of that?
Recognizing that leaders are human too.
Of course.
They need to take care of themselves.
Absolutely.
So promoting work-life balance, providing those mental health resources.
Right. Creating a culture where it's okay to,
Yes,
ask for help.
exactly.
Ex-
Because if they don't, they're more likely to burn out, make bad decisions.
Yeah, it affects everyone.
It does. And then we have development.
Okay.
This is about continuous learning.
Okay.
So that could be formal training,
Right.
self-reflection, mentorship.
I love that it's a journey.
It is.
Not a destination.
And then autonomy, but this time from the team's perspective,
Oh, interesting.
empowering them to take ownership,
Okay.
make decisions.
So it's about everyone having that autonomy.
Exactly. And finally, organizational support.
Okay.
This is about aligning the organization's values with the leader's compass.
So it's a system-wide commitment.
It is. Things like clear communication from the top, resources for training and mentorship,
Makes sense.
policies that promote well-being.
Wow, that's a lot.
It is.
It's a lot to take in, but it's a great framework.
It is.
So where do we even begin?
Start small.
Oh, okay.
Pick 1 or 2 areas.
All right.
Maybe it's those regular check-ins, finding a mentor,
Okay.
or advocating for that resource.
Small, consistent steps.
Exactly. Leadership is a lifelong journey.
It is.
Be patient,
Yeah.
celebrate your successes, and ask for help when you need it.
This has been such an insightful deep dive.
I'm glad.
I'm walking away with a whole new perspective.
That's great to hear.
And some great strategies to try.
And remember, we'll dive deeper into each of these points in future episodes.
Oh, perfect.
So stay tuned.
That's a wrap for today.
Thanks for listening.
We hope this has given you some valuable insights into how the leader's compass can help you be a better leader.
Absolutely.
Until next time.